Hey Stampers, it's Madeline from the wonderlandstamper.com. Welcome to Stampin' Sunday. Today we're going to dive into the Myths and Magic suite. It has gorgeous designer series paper, as you can tell, some gorgeous sparkling washi tape, some glitter paper that is to die for, and of course the Magical Day stamp set along with the matching framelits. So today I'm going to show you how you can use all of these supplies to make some really gorgeous cards, and I'm also going to show you how the Brothers Scan and Cut 2 is able to take this designer series paper and turn it into something you never thought it could be. Stay tuned. Here we are at the Brothers Scan and Cut 2. This is an amazing tool that I've been using a lot lately, and it's awesome with our Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper like this one, where it may be hard to cut out all of these cute little characters, but there's many uses to this designer series paper besides just being the background. It can really be the focal point of your card. So I cut out 3 different squares of the designer series paper from that Myths and Magic suite. And I want to show you how easy it is with this Brothers Scan and Cut 2 to cut them out in under 3 minutes. So you don't have to hand cut out anything. It's all set for you. So the Brothers Scan and Cut 2, it scans in this image, and then it tells you where it's going to cut. And then your images are able to be peeled away from the sticky background that holds it on for the cutting. Okay, so our page has been scanned, so you can tell from the screen here how nicely it's able to catch all of the images that you have on your mat here. Here we are back at my desk with the Brothers Scan and Cut mat with the designer series paper that we were using. And now it's the moment of truth to see how it did. So I have my little spatula and I'm going to just lift this all up very carefully, and you can already see what a great job the Brothers Scan and Cut did. And of course it doesn't get everything, but it's pretty perfect. Look at all those. I didn't have to hand cut out a single one of these, which is what I love about the Brothers Scan and Cut. It is all ready for me to go. I got the little dragon, these castles, everything is perfectly cut out. And it, like I said, it's not exactly perfect. Some of the little attributes get cut off. Oh, I just ripped that. But it does a fabulous job if you don't want to hand cut out everything. I mean, look at that. Totally perfect. I love it. Okay, so that was the night paper, and then let's take a look at the mermaid paper. This one even cut out the little plants and the seahorses. Look at that. I'm telling you, the Brothers Scan and Cut 2 has saved my life when I'm making cards and swap cards, because if there's not framelits for something, and with designer series paper like this, you're not going to be able to get that perfect look by fussy cutting it out. I can tell you that. And so like this didn't get the white inside, but it still looks fabulous. So it got all these cute little mermaids, and then again all the seahorses, the leaves, so lots of little attributes that you could add in. And then we have all these little guys here. I'm going to lift this up and look at how perfect it got those. The little guy with his owl, and these you have to be careful with just because they're delicate, but look at how perfect that is. Love it. So the Brothers Scan and Cut is definitely worth the investment. I have the link down below where I got it from, right on Amazon. It's worth the investment. It's easy to get. You get it really fast. I did look around, and Amazon was the best price for a while. It just depends on the time of year that you're buying it. So take a look. And Amazon, it comes with everything that you need to get started. And I love it. You won't be disappointed. And definitely get the Brothers Scan and Cut 2 versus the first Brothers Scan and Cut because it scans in color. And that makes all the difference, especially if you're working with designer series paper like this. All right, I will be back in just a second. Okay, so here we are back at my desk. This is the card front that we're going to be making today. I went to convention in November in Salt Lake City and it was awesome. I'm so excited for the next one, which is going to be in Connecticut in April. My whole team is going, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But this was one of the example cards that I saw at Onstage that made me fall in love with this set. And I'm shocked that it took me so long to get to this set. But we are going to have a lot of fun making this card. I'm going to give you some tips and suggestions for washi tape use. Because just like designer series paper, washi tape is hard for me to figure out how to use, and that's why I loved this card. It makes it so you can use the designer series paper in a different way than you would. And it also has you use the washi tape to make your own kind of designer series paper in the back there. So let's get started on what you're going to need for this card. So you're going to need a piece of the glimmer paper that's in that Myths and Magic set. It's the Myths and Magic 6x6 glimmer paper. So I have that at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I have a piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4. And just be aware, this glimmer paper, it gets glitter everywhere. So just be aware and be ready for that. I also have the washi tape that's in that suite, all 3 of them. And I have some of the designer series paper cut out, ready for me to go. So again, I use my Brothers Scan and Cut 2 for this. So I have a castle, a knight, and a dragon. So it's up to you. You could have hand cut them out if you want to. You can use the stamps if you don't have the designer series paper. There isn't a castle you can stamp though, but you could stamp a knight and a dragon. And then I will be using dimensionals, the regular size and the miniature size. So I do have both of them here. Let me get the mini out for you. So I have mini and big. You can always make the big into mini. You could use enough mini to make them big. So whatever you have in your craft room is what you want to be using. I also have Memento ink. This is the only ink that we now carry with Stampin' Up! Instead of StazOn and Memento. It's only Memento, and this is a great ink to have because you can use it with the blends. And it's really the only ink you can use with the blends. And then I also have this stamp already mounted and ready to go. Hope your day is magical. So that's ready for me to get started. I just want to share with you some other tools I'm using. These are the Tim Holtz scissors that I'm obsessed with now. I'm definitely going to be buying a few more pairs. I have the link down below to my Amazon affiliate link for these. And I'll also be using my advanced tape glider gun. This is my favorite adhesive. I have the link down below for that as well. And also the refills, which are pretty inexpensive and you can buy them in bulk. All right, so let's get started. We are going to take this Whisper White piece of paper, and this is another favorite of my tools, this glass mat from We Are Memory Keepers. I'm obsessed with this mat, and especially for this card, it is so helpful. So let me show you how. I'm going to line up my card on the crisscross lines, okay? So I have it lined up along this line and along this line. That way the card is perfectly on the lines, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm just lining this up. All right, so now we're going to use our washi tape. So for me, let me get this in a place where you can see both of them. Okay. The washi tape for me, and to make a background like this, was very intimidating just because freehanding where to put the washi tape for me was very scary seeming. But this makes it super easy. So using a mat like this, and especially a glass mat like this, you can use the lines to your advantage. So I'm starting with this blue striped washi tape. I am going to use a little extra than needed to be able to tuck it behind the paper, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm using the lines here carefully on the first one to line up my washi tape, but also sticking down my Whisper White paper exactly where I want it. Okay, so I have my Whisper White lined up on these two lines, and then I'm using the lines going down, these every 1/4 inch lines, to put my washi tape down in the right place so that it looks nice and neat. Okay, so that'll make more sense as we go. And I also am using a little bit of extra because that's going to be folded over in the back, but it's keeping my card stable where I want it. So now I'm going to move on to the silver piece. So this is gorgeous with the stars. Okay, so I'm going to the next line that's available, lining it up on both sides, pressing down, and cutting. So see, I'm getting evenness, and it doesn't need to be perfect, but I like this way because then I know that there is, the washi tape is straight, it's not crooked, and I'm also holding down the paper with the washi tape, and that helps a lot with putting on these different layers of washi tape. So again, lining up on the lines. And it's up to you how close you want these. I spread them out. And you want to make sure you press down because the washi tape doesn't attach until you put that pressure on. See how it pops right up. So I'm just going back and forth between the 3 of these, and again, lining up my tape on this glass mat with the grid lines. And it just makes it so that it's nice and neat. You don't have to worry about it. You have a guideline that you're able to follow. We're almost to the end here. 2 more pieces. Our last one here. And then we're going to lift this up. All right, so I have this all pressed down. I'm going to lift this up carefully. Just going back and forth just to lift the tape off the glass mat. Flipping this over and then just tucking the tape behind. And sticking it down nicely. Okay, so now we have our tape all nicely on here. I love it. You're going to need a scrap of Whisper White that we're going to be stamping on. So take your Memento ink and your Magical Day stamp, and we're just going to get it nice and inked here. And just stamp it on here wherever you'd want, because we're going to cut this out. Using your scissors, either your crafting scissors or if you have scissors like this, we're going to cut this out, just the square for right now, and then go back and do detail cutting. So I want, as you can see from the example here, I'm going to cut out the Hope Your Day Is just as close as I can get it. Being careful that the ink has dried just so that I'm not smudging anything. Okay, so there's your Hope Your Day Is. Then I'm going to cut this out, but I'm going to round the edges just so that it has a nice finish on it. There we go. Hope your day is magical. All right, now you're going to need your big shot to do, this is a layering circle in a cloud formation. I've already done it for you, but you want to put it through your big shot, layering circles, and I use Bermuda Bay. Okay, so here is my layering circle in that cloud shape from the layering circle framelets. All the supplies that we use today are going to be over on my blog, thewonderlandstamper.com or stampinwithmadelyn.com. So make sure you head over there to see all the supplies we used, all the dimensional details and everything. You can click right on the picture of the supply and it'll take you right over to my online shop. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put this card together now that we have everything cut out and ready to go. So first down is going to be the castle. So this is all with regular adhesive. I'm not using dimensionals yet. I'm just going to put a little piece of adhesive on our castle. I'm going to set it around here. I don't want it at the very top of the card. Here we go. Then I'm going to put down our cloud circle here, just with 2 pieces of adhesive, and kind of center it on the bottom of the castle here. There we go. Okay, now we're going to use dimensionals. So first I'm going to put down this Hope Your Day Is. It's going to be with the mini dimensionals because it's so small. And I'm going to put 3 on here. And this should be wide enough where your dimensionals aren't seen, but you may have to cut them down a little bit. Especially if you're using the big dimensionals, you'll want to use a little bit less than half a piece if you don't have the minis. And we're going to put it right here where we're seeing a little bit of the cloud, but not all of it. Let me just move this over a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to do our little characters. So for the characters, I did 2 big dimensionals to make it higher than this. So instead of, and I'll show you what I mean, instead of just putting 1, I put 2 on top of each other, so it's even higher up. So I put 1, take the paper off, and then put another one on top of that one and take the paper off. That way it's even higher than the ones with just 1 dimensional. Okay, so I place 1 down, take the paper off, and then place another one down and take the paper off. Okay. And then I'm going to place our little knight right there. See how much higher he is? I really love that. I would be careful with mailing, but I think it would just be like a regular embellishment that you have to put a little extra postage on. And usually what I do is I bring my cards right to the counter. If I have a question or if I'm nervous about it sending, I always just go right to the post office and ask them. It's better than trying to mail something out and then have it be returned to you because it didn't have enough postage or whatnot. Okay, so now we have our dragon and the knight. And of course, every card's going to look a little bit different. And that's something that I love. Especially when you're making this card with a group of friends. I love how every single one looks a little bit different. Okay, so I'm just putting 1 dimensional down, not 2, but putting 2 on here. So not stacking them up, but putting 2 on this piece that says magical. And I'm going to place it down here so it is on our characters. And there we go. Isn't that so cute? I love the washi tape on this. All right, now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put quite a bit of adhesive on the back here. I'm going to put about 4 rows of tape here, just because sticking to the glimmer paper isn't as easy as it looks. And you may need more adhesive or use glue instead. But I've found that the more, if I do 4 rows of tape, then it stays on pretty well. So I really want to put some pressure on here to make sure that the tape is really getting that piece of paper stuck to the glimmer paper. And there we go. There are our gorgeous card fronts using the designer series paper and the washi tape. And again, these are card fronts that can then be put on card bases. I do all card fronts just to save supplies. And then when I'm ready to use them, I have a whole stack of card bases that are ready to go. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it'll go on the front of an A4 size card that you can just take from a piece of 8 1/2 by 11 and cut it at 4.25 by 11 and fold it in half, or cut it at 5 1/2. So these are all set to go. Let's move on to our next card. Okay, so now we're going to use designer series paper and the washi tape again, but in a different way. So here's what you're going to need for this adorable card. You're going to need a piece of designer series paper. This is the back of the ones with the knights and the dragons. I did it at 5 1/4 by, or 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have a piece of that glimmer paper from that same pack, but in the white at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of Bermuda Bay that's 3 3/4 by 5. You'll also need a piece, I did lemon lime twist with one of the stitch shapes, one of the circles. It was the second to largest circle. And I also have some mermaids to pick from what we cut out from the Brothers Scan and Cut. You're going to need the washi tape again, all 3 of them, the Hope Your Day is Magical stamp set, or stamp, and the Memento ink. I'm also using some of the ribbon from the Celebration. It's that glimmer ribbon, and it'll be in the supply list over on my website. I love it. It comes with 3 different ribbons, all different colors and all different widths, and I really like this width. So let's get started with what you're going to do. This is another way to use washi tape, and again, this glimmer paper, just so you know, it really, I can't believe how much glitter it gets everywhere, but it's so cute how it ends up. Okay, so for this, I'm really just going with it, okay? So this isn't as organized as the last card. This is more of a free-for-all of whatever you want it to look like. Where I start is in the corner, and I just put a strip of tape down. And again, I do tape it down just so that the paper doesn't move while I'm working. But I really just did one strip, and then I kept going. So you can do all different lengths, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward through this part. I'm just going to lay out the tape like this and keep going with it. And you can do whatever design that you want. Okay, so now I'm going to go over all of these and just make sure they're nicely down on my paper. I did tuck them behind in this original one, but I don't like how that turned out because they kept popping up. So what I'm going to actually do is use my Tim Holtz scissors and trim off all the excess. Okay, once you have that all cut and ready, you're going to take your lemon lime twist circle, and we're going to stamp this Hope Your Day is Magical in Memento right onto this circle. There we go. And then we're going to attach that ribbon onto it. So what I did was I put adhesive all over this circle. So I did many rows of tape on here just so that I could put the ribbon on, and then it would be ready to go onto my card. So I have this glimmer ribbon here from the Celebration, and I'm going to do 3 loops. So this is just coming off the side. So I'm putting it down and then doing a little bit of a twist and putting it down just like a ribbon, like a cause ribbon. And I'm going to do that 3 times. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the excess here. And then it's ready to go on to my card in that empty place there. And again, you can tell that this card's already looking different than this one, where my ribbon is. But like I've said, every card's going to look a little bit different, which is what I like. Okay, now we're going to take 3 of our little mermaids here. See which ones match the best. See, I might even just do 2. Okay, and then I'm going to use dimensionals to put these mermaids on. So I'm going to do 2. Make sure they're down okay. Then take the paper up and place them where I want them. And I like the dimensionals because it gives it that 3D look, but it also shows off our mermaids a little bit better in this mist of color here. Okay, great. So there are our 2 mermaids. Then we're going to attach this. So I am having issues with my tape gun with the glimmer paper. So I'm going to put dimensionals, and I found that worked better. So I'm going to do 5 dimensionals on here, 4 in the corners, and then 1 right in the center. And take all the paper off. And then put this onto the glimmer paper. And this worked a lot better for me than trying to get it to attach with my tape. So we're going to center it on this. Push down, and then we're going to use our adhesive to put it onto our designer series paper that we have. And then again, these are card fronts that then can go onto a card base when you're ready. There we go. There is our card. So again, looking a little bit different than the original one. But I do love it. And then we have our first card that we did. So I hope you liked my video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Make sure to hit that red subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss another Stampin' Sunday or any of my other videos. I post videos on Saturdays, Sundays, and Thursdays. Again, all my supplies are down below over on my link to my website. And also you'll see the Amazon links for some of the fun products that I use that aren't Stampin' Up. And those are down below in the description. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And for now, keep stampin', Stampers. Bye.